Hello, friends. Let's understand what the 15th Finance Commission, led by Shri N.K. Singh, what they have done, how they have proposed, what they have proposed in their report, which is for the current FY 2021, what sort of devolution they are proposing, and definitely their main report will be released later on in October 2020 for the next FY21 to 26 5-year period. Now here, one of the changes what we have seen in the 15th Finance Commission report, this interim report of for this year, is the devolution of money from the central divisible pool has been decreased from 42% to 41%. Now this 1 percentage decrease is largely because of the change of the character of the states. What we see, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh are no more states, so they are technically part of the union territories, and now they will be funded from a different from the central's taxes. So that decrease is justified from that perspective. Overall, other changes have been proposed. For instance, the uh, the reasons for uh, the devolution of money to different states is based on a certain method which takes into account list of parameters like population of that area of that state, then per capita income, demographic character, tax incentives, forest cover. These are some special parameters, factors which determine how much money that state will attract. And accordingly, all the Finance Commission makes their recommendations based on these calculations, giving weight to all these factors. Now, there have been some changes in the weight and in the, for instance, let's talk about population. So, till previous one, the population of 1971 as well as 2011 as well, these populations were considered in equal weights to allocate funds to make as an input, as a gravitating factor of fund being attracted from that particular state. Now it has been proposed to shift to 2011 population completely and discard 1971 population, and also added another factor called demographic performance, how the states have performed over the last uh, uh, 5 years. So that is something which is important to acknowledge, that how the states have been performing in the last 3-4 decades in terms of regulating their population. So a methodology of calculating with the help of total fertility rate, how that has been reduced. So most of the southern states who might have a complaint regarding their population being improved, and that is resulting into non-attraction of funds from the divisible pool. But this demographic performance is good, so they will attract. So that will be balanced there, and in fact incentivized as well to further improve their demographic performance. Then tax efforts being taken by the state, so that is given more 2.5% weightage in this 15th Finance Commission report. Unlike there was no weightage for that. Then forest cover is something which has been given a weight, a good weight, forest cover and ecology. So that will be attracting. It's more than 7.5% in fact. So let's see if there's other things which attracts. So we have covered all of them. Then income, distance, and area as well. These are also, the bigger the area, the more it will gravitate fund. That has been there, 15% weight in the overall factors, and that remains. Then income, distance, in terms of per capita income, the more poor the state is, the higher fund will be. So going to that state. So these are all, most of them are to bring equity among people, among individual citizens of India, and bringing up poor, lifting up from poverty. So that principle is always there. And secondly, incentivizing their good performance. So these are the two major principles which guide giving weight to these factors. Now, so this is one part, and within this, near about 8.5 lakh crore is being dispersed among states as per the proposal of the 15th Finance Commission. Secondly, we have the grants of somewhere around 75,000 crore being proposed by the 15th Finance Commission, and these grants are driven by agriculture reforms being done. So grant is given to those states who are doing reforms in agri, and in fact other fields as well. And those states which are also suffering from revenue deficit, those states will also be compensated through these grants. Revenue deficits because of a new mechanism being introduced, and the shock absorbing grant will go to those states. So these factors are all well taken into account, and hopefully things will pass in the budget. However, in the budget, what we have seen is that instead of the 75,000 crore, the union budget for the fiscal year is only devoluting half of that 30,000 crore to be dispersed into the states in the form of grant. However, this is the overall scenario for this 1 year fiscal period. Thereafter, in October 2020, we'll receive for the next 5 years, FY21 to 26, the big area, the big period. There we'll see the detailed report of the 15th Finance Commission and how things will go beyond that. One more thing we can add to this story, this narrative, is the a separate fund for defense and national security. Now that is something is being contemplated, and 15th Finance Commission is also proposing to create a body which will have Ministry of Finance personnel as a member, Ministry of Defense personnel, and other representatives to suggest on what should be the method of creating that fund for defense and national security, which is outside the divisible pool and which is only for the defense and national security purpose. So that is something which is also critical to be seen on what the government thinks, what the Finance Commission thinks on how to take this